Good morning, and welcome to TARDIS Spider. I'm Terry, and today, Doctor, can you fly this thing? In the early years of Doctor Who, the Doctor had little or no ability to control the flight of the TARDIS. Let's look at which Doctors could do some piloting with the TARDIS. Oh, and by the way, this will be a nice fluffy bow tie. And this is my third Doctor sonic screwdriver. I'm still waiting on my shirt from China, and then we can unveil our cosplay of the third Doctor. So now, Doctor, can you fly this thing? Let's look at some of the past Doctor Who's. William Hartnell, the first Doctor, consistently insisted that he was in complete control of the TARDIS, yet often seemed to spend more time with the fault locator and fluid links than he did trying to pilot the ship. He made disastrous use of the fast return switch, a device which baffled Ian and Barbara, though modern internet users will recognize how easily an imprudent click of the back button can be. It can land you in all sorts of unfortunate destinations. Ian and Barbara never gave up on getting back to the 1960s, but they had to use a Dalek time machine to return home. The second Doctor, Patrick Troughton, didn't seem to care where the TARDIS went, and was just there for the ride. He knew that he'd get somewhere in the end, and thought nothing of returning holy relics 300 years late. Early on in this regeneration, he aimed for Mars and got the moon. So after that, the only time that he really tried to steer the TARDIS, it was to escape the Time Lords near the end of the War Games. That didn't work out quite well for him. Exiled to Earth, the third Doctor, Jon Pertwee. He was just grateful whenever his TARDIS would work at all. It frequently arrived at its intended destination, though this was generally because it had been operated by remote control by the Time Lords. He wasn't happy about this, but would save the world anyway. He took his ship apart again and again. He would put it all back together, and yet, still the only way that he could be sure of getting somewhere was to wire the coordinates into the programmer. This is what he did for Metebelis 3, and soon he would wish that he hadn't. Tom Baker, the fourth Doctor, was the first Doctor to demonstrate some real ability in piloting the TARDIS. He was able to get to Loch Ness, Castria, and Gallifrey via Aberdeen, and installing the locomotor core, it allowed him to hunt down all 6 segments to the key to time. After this, to avoid the Black Guardian, he installed a randomizer, so he never knew where he'd end up, but kept switching it off to enable precision jaunts between Paris and Florence. He also claimed growing proficiency with short hops, but managed to accidentally pilot the TARDIS into another universe and once missed the River Thames by a few meters. Peter Davison, as the fifth Doctor, proved to be very bad at getting Tegan Travanka back to Heathrow Airport. She even thought that she was a better pilot than him. She had managed to pilot the TARDIS to Castrovalva, though unknown to her she had the Master's aid. But she wasn't the only person better at piloting the TARDIS. Professor Hayter, Turlough, and Chameleon, again with the aid of the Master, all had a go at it. The sixth Doctor, Colin Baker's TARDIS, frequently broke down, but it showed a remarkable ability to return to the sites of previous adventures. He also acquired a good deal of control and was able to successfully pilot the TARDIS to Veros, Necros, and the mysterious planet Ravalox and Thoris Beta. But it always helped to have a time corridor or a distress signal to follow. The seventh Doctor, Sylvester McCoy, gave the appearance of not caring where his TARDIS went, but actually He often carefully chose his destinations in order to defeat Fenric, force Ace to face her past, or to retrieve the Master's remains from Skaro. The Doctor has always boasted of his ability to control his ship, a pride that many of his companions have considered utterly delusional. So, how well does the Doctor pilot the TARDIS? Well, maybe he doesn't pilot the TARDIS at all. If you go to the story, The Doctor's Wife, when he says, "You never took me where I wanted to go," the TARDIS told him, "But I always took you where you needed to be." And what we need is Doctor Who to be on TV and in our lives. Thank you and good night. This week's recommendation is a follow-up on last week. I have a free trial to 3 of the subscription services offered this month. On the Roku, we have the Hallmark Channel, the BFI, that's the British Film Institute, and Acorn. My wife has discovered Heartland on Hallmark. I am watching the Lovejoy Mysteries again on Acorn, and I look forward to watching An Inspector Calls from the 1950s on the BFI channel. So enjoy these shows, try some of the subscription services, and enjoy Doctor Who. Enjoy your journey through time and space. Thank you, good night, stay safe, and please practice social distancing.